So, what does date wine taste like?
Let's find out with our special guest star, my dad!
Yeah, you might have noticed this guy sitting over in the corner there. That's Derica's dad. He came to visit, and he usually stays for a couple weeks when he comes, and we thought, well, you know what? While he's here, we're going to put him to work.
So, everybody, this is Terry Smith. Terry, this is everybody.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to see you here.
Now, you might remember Terry was on another episode a while back. I think it was the flavored ciders when we did the tasting on that. He was on that too. But anyway, today we are tasting our date wine. Now, this was bottled like 5 days ago. So it's still pretty young. I think it's only like maybe 10 weeks old at this point. Don't quote me on that because I didn't check and I probably should have.
But this was one of our gangbuster brews. The Beast did it again.
Oh, yeah.
What was
18.2%.
Yeah.
Let's just get some pours out here. This has been chilled.
Yep.
In case anyone's curious. Because we like it that way.
We're in Florida. It's still hot.
All right. So, on the color. Looks like mead.
It does.
Actually, it's just got a really nice, pretty generic golden color.
It might be a touch more brown than what just a traditional mead would
It's
be.
not even a mead, though. It's wine.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, this is date wine. This isn't even mead.
It looks mead-like.
But it looks like a mead. It really does.
And I attribute that to the dates.
Yep. Now, because it's chilled, the glass is hazing up. But it's actually pretty clear. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably like an 8 to a 9 for clarity. It's very clear. If it wasn't for that haze, you'd see right through it.
Oh, yeah. For sure. Which is kind of surprising because if you saw, we racked this multiple times and it was pretty murky. So I think
this one was goop.
It did a really good job clearing out.
Oh, yeah. It cleared out
and
beautifully.
even with it being refrigerated, there's nothing on the
there's nothing
bottom.
on the bottom.
So it didn't.
So we did a really good
We
job
did.
rocking this
Yay.
one.
Cheers.
Yes. All right. On the smell, it is nothing short of exotic. We've said that before, but that's the only word I can come up with. It smells like a raisiny.
It's like raisin,
fruity,
molasses,
yeah.
alcohol, something.
Yeah, I don't really smell the alcohol. What do you think, Derek?
It smells a little bit like date.
That's probably a good thing. All right, so time for a short sip. Now, this is where we just kind of get some in your mouth and swallow it right down. Don't hold it or anything like that. No fanfare. And then we'll give our impressions.
This is especially important with this particular brew because it did make it to the 18%.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a higher
Just to
ABV,
acclimate your
has
palate.
more alcohol. Alcohol is a flavor, and so this is going to get our palates acclimated. I've said that how many times now?
Acclimated.
To the alcohol so we can get the other flavors.
Short sip. Okay, I get a little bit of orange. Actually, Derica.
I got sweetness right away, and then I got that weird, now that you said orange, I get it a citrusy kind of tart, stringent combo. I don't know how else to explain that.
What'd you get, Terry?
It went down easy.
Yeah.
It does.
It
yeah.
does.
Yeah, I got a sweetness right at the beginning. I got a little bit of an orange flavor, and then it was almost raisiny date is what I got towards the end there. A dried fruit, most definitely. The finish was quick. There was like nothing to it, which is kind of unusual.
It went really clean on the finish, but then after a while, it was like there was
Yeah, it's coming back.
residual-
I mean, there's something
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
All right, time for a long sip. Now, this is one where you hold it in your mouth a little bit longer, explore those flavors, and sometimes you taste different things. Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, Derica, what do you think?
First off, I inadvertently inhaled a little bit as
Yeah,
I
you
was
don't do that.
drinking. That's a bad idea, particularly with alcohol.
Yeah, you'll choke on it.
Because you get some of those vapors.
Mhm.
So I did get those vapors,
Just getting the vapors, people.
and that let me know that yes, I am actually drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
But with it in my mouth, and I know might sound strange, but
Here we go.
it was very pleasant. It had a viscosity to it that was nice. even though it finishes cleanly and it doesn't really stay residual in your mouth. When it's in there, it's kind of velvety. I enjoyed it.
What did you think, Terry?
I got a lot more of the date taste this way.
Yeah.
The date taste was almost absent with the short sip.
Yeah, I agree. What I got is much the same as the first sip, except that, like Terry was saying, the date taste seems to come out in the middle. So on a short sip, you might miss out on that middle. You kind of get an entrance and an exit, and that's about it.
Yeah.
On this though, when I held it, I got that date flavor, and it's actually really nice. This is surprisingly good. What's really weird though is this reminds me of mead, not wine. This is much more like a mead than I ever would have expected. I don't really know why that is, but I get honey characteristics.
The more sips I take, it's almost like it's building up in my mouth, and so the after part is lingering longer now. It's almost it almost reminds me of a cordial or something that's kind of has that coating sensation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get it on the initial sips. You have to have consecutive ones.
I still contend that this is very mead-like. It really comes like if I drank this and no one told me it wasn't a mead, I would think it was a mead.
It does have some characteristics that I would traditionally attribute to honey.
Now, somebody told me that they take dates and they will cook them down and make what's like a honey. And I'm wondering if, because of the similarities that way, that maybe it does have somewhat of that. Plus, we also like raisins in our mead. So we're getting a little bit of that raisiny flavor coming through that I think is just reminiscent of mead between those two things.
Yeah, it does have kind of a almost cooked, smoky type thing going on. And I think that's just because of the dried fruit. So the 3 categories. Are we going to cook with it? Are we going to drink it with food? Or is this a standalone beverage?
To me, it's all 3.
Maybe it's a dessert wine.
Yeah,
it could be.
It could definitely be a dessert wine.
It's sweet, but not.
It's not
sickly. I know I say that a lot.
Sakya sweet.
But it's not like syrup. Even though it's viscous, it's not syrupy.
But now, see, I was trying to think, what would I pair this with? And then you said syrup, and my brain was already going there. I want to drink this with pancakes.
Yeah. This would be great with a dessert. But I also feel like this is neutral enough, really, that it goes with a lot of things. Like, this could go with chicken. This could go with pork. This would go really well with pork. Mm-hmm. Something about pork and applesauce with this just seems to really, really work for me.
I like pork.
I'm even thinking, because dates make me think of the Middle East, would Middle Eastern food
of course
pair with this? And
of course, there's so many.
Kebabs, when you were talking about pork.
Roasted meats would work really nicely with this. I would cook with this as well. I could totally use this in almost any sauce I make. I mean, like, put it into tomato sauce. It will help this. The fruit flavor is not so forward as to make it a biased taste. It really isn't. It's still very neutral to me. It doesn't have that strong fruity flavor. Like, if you put blueberries in something, you don't really want to throw that in anything, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's just right down the middle, but it has a fruitiness to it without it being overly powering. And then, of course, I would totally put this in a mug and just drink it. This is nice. I really like this.
I have finished my glass.
You want more? There's still some left.
And I am getting that warming sensation that you get from the higher ABV.
Yeah. We have 2 more tastings to do, so we're probably not going to drink too much more of this right now because, it's on the high side. It's really good, though.
Do you have any other tasting notes or pairings that you think of that you'd like to share?
He still has some left.
I know, so I'm asking him.
I like to drink it slowly so I can taste it more.
Dad likes to savor everything. Food, he's always the last to finish because he has to just enjoy every bite. And honestly, I think we all could take a lesson from that. So now we have to think numbers.
Yep. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you would never serve this to your worst enemy, and it might even be dangerous to drink. And 10 being it is the best damn thing you've ever put in your mouth. Now, actually, what 10 means is there's just no room for improvement. Basically, that is why it's the highest score. There's just no way to make this any better. You guys got numbers in your head? I'm going to do a count of 3. And
I'm
we're gonna spit 'em out.
conflicted.
7.5.
Oh,
He's a little early, but it's okay.
Jump the gun.
I'm actually going with 8.5.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards 9.
I-
It's that kind of good. This is one of our better ones.
I'm with you. 8.5.
The only reason why I won't go to 9 is because you know that bitter thing that I get on the back of my throat from honey?
Sure.
I get that with this.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me think it's mead. If it didn't have that, I would give this a 9, maybe even 9.5. I'm going to go with 8.5 though.
I'm going to stick with my 8.5. What would I do to improve this? I have no idea.
Yeah, that's
I
just
can't
it.
think of anything that I would want to add or change about this.
Maybe I'd put the dates in some sort of impregnable bag because they were goop by the time we were done. It was gross.
But this is such a new flavor profile and
Yeah.
experience for me that I really don't mentally
I'm
know
curious
where
to
to
see what
place
this is
it.
going to be like in a year.
But
I can only imagine.
I definitely plan on making this again because this is very enjoyable and
Now we need to make date mead.
yeah.
You need to mark that date on your calendar.
See where she gets it from? By the way, if you like this video, guys, just look right up here. There's another one. Go watch it.